What up, everybody? This is your boy Dedrian from House of Rasslin, and this is my review for the June 29th episode of Blood and Guts AEW Dynamite. Yes, that is the theme of tonight's AEW Dynamite show. Like, share, comment, subscribe, follow House of Rasslin on all social media platforms. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Man, tonight's show was fun. In spite of the unfortunate injury to Santana from Proud and Powerful, apparently he suffered it from what it was reported, attempting a backbreaker. I don't know if that was the move that he was performing, but that is what some people have said, and some have reported. He was helped out to the back during the match. Hopefully, it is not too severe or major. AEW, WWE, even in the independents, there has just been a string of injuries in professional wrestling that I haven't seen anything like this in, man, I want to say 2015 when Seth Rollins got injured, and there was just a string of injuries. So hopefully Santana is okay, and it's nothing severe where he's going to miss a significant amount of time. But man, this show was pretty fun. It was from the Detroit, Michigan at Little Caesars Arena. Man, this was a fun show. It started off with Orange Cassidy and Ethan Page. It was good to see Ethan Page in a singles match, finally. It was good to see Orange Cassidy. He debuted his new music. It was June by the summer time thingamajigga, something like that. But it was new theme music. It's going to take some time to get used to it because it felt like the theme song from the Dixies were just like, it fit them. So this one's just more like, all right, get used to it, but it is what it is. But man, this match was pretty cool. The Breast Friends, they came out in tie-dye tracksuits. Before the match started, Dan Lambert was complaining that they should go back to the dressing room. He stayed out there. There was a bunch of freshly squeezed chants. Orange Cassidy was like mocking Ethan Page throughout the match. Then there was at one point in the match there was a spinning DDT that Orange Cassidy did. This match was pretty much a typical power versus agility match where when the guy who's powerful tries to do a maneuver on someone who's very agile and quick, they reverse and stuff like that. This was a fun match. It was good to see this match. I wish and I hope to see this match without Dan Lambert at ringside. But then you had a spot where Dan Lambert, he gets on the apron. He has a bottle. He came to the ring with a bottle of orange juice. And he looks at Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy takes the bottle of orange juice, takes a swig, ducks under a forearm that Ethan Page was trying to connect. He hits Ethan Page with a Superman punch, and then he sprays Dan Lambert with the orange juice, pins Ethan Page 1, 2, 3. Orange Cassidy wins. It looks like Orange Cassidy's getting some momentum and a push from Forbidden Door with his match against Will Ospreay, which I'm all for because he really that was a phenomenal match between him and Will Ospreay. And this was a fun opening match. The only thing that I had with this match, and I've been saying it for quite a while, is that there still hasn't been a women's match to open Dynamite since Jade Cargill, Shaq versus Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet. There still hasn't been a women's match since then, and before that there was never a women's match that opened, so I wish they would just improve that. From there we get a promo with Christian Cage. There's a bunch of a-hole chants. He says he had to come out and issue an apology due to upper management. He looks into the camera. He tells Jungle Boy, I apologize that your parents or the rest of your family weren't with your dad. Like, just crazy stuff, man. He's such a good heel, and it's just like, ooh. Then he says, I said that I wanted a match, but I didn't say it was for me. You hear this different music. You see this Titantron video that's different. The Luchasaurus words come out. I was like, uh-oh. Luchasaurus comes out in all black. He looks slick. This is going to be fun. So he comes out. He faces Serpentico. This is a squash match, basically. And he performed Jungle Boy's finishing move, which is the snap, the snare trap, which it would be very dope if Luchasaurus performs Jungle Boy's finishing move, because it's crazy because Jungle Boy performing his finishing move is like, okay, that's cool. But seeing Luchasaurus perform that move, it's like, ooh, like this is a big dude performing this submission hold. This could be really fun and interesting. I'm really excited to see where this goes with Luchasaurus and Christian Cage. It's going to be interesting. I know a lot of people, including myself, have been clamoring, man, they need to do something different with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Like, man, turn Luchasaurus heel. They've been doing it for 2 years. They need something different. And, well, we got it right now. So this is going to be interesting where this goes. Then we get a backstage segment with Scorpio Sky and Wardlow. Scorpio Sky says, the last time I faced you, I pinned you. Wardlow exchanges words. He's like, you know what? I'm going to send everybody or anybody from America's Top Team. I'm going to treat them like security. I'm going to take your belt and I'm going to take it home where it belongs. Scorpio Sky issues a challenge. He says, next week, I'll face you for a TNT title. And it will be a street fight. So that is going to be interesting. That's going to be fun. The question remains, are they going to put the TNT title on Wardlow? It's interesting. Are they going to do it? With the string of injuries that they're suffering, I think it's the time to put the TNT title on Wardlow. You need as many people with as much momentum right now in AEW on your TV screen, because there's so many guys missing that, you know, we don't know if they're going to be back in a month, 2 months, or what have you. So it's something to look into. Then we get Max Caster and the Gun Club versus Dan Hausen. The Gun Club come out with Max Caster. They do their shtick. It's freaking hilarious. Billy Gunn still choosing the Acclaimed over his sons. Dan Hausen comes out and he's like, all right, here's my partners. And it's FTR. So this was a unique combination of Dan Hausen with FTR versus the Gun Club and Max Caster. This was a pretty fun match. You can tell Dan Hausen, he's still getting his rhythm and his quickness in the ring. I remember seeing him before he suffered his injury in December. I remember watching him in Ring of Honor. It's like, man, this guy can, like, he was very, very agile, but you could tell he was taking his time and everything. But this was a interesting match. I will say the one thing that stuck out to me, and this was when Anthony Bowens got out the wheelchair and wanted to hit Danhausen with the crutch, and he wound up hitting Austin Gunn, causing him to lose. And yes, Anthony Bowens came out the wheelchair. He's fine. Everyone's like, oh my God, he's been faking it all this time. So you have this little squabble between the Gun Club and the Acclaimed. They're going back and forth, and Billy Gunn shoves Austin Gunn on the floor, and people are like, ooh. So Billy Gunn is choosing the Acclaimed over his sons for now. If you know Billy Gunn's history with DX, there's a swerve coming, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a swerve where Billy Gunn turns on the Acclaim, which, you know, is this going to lead to the Acclaim turning face? This is a really effective way of doing it. They have the crowd. They get one of the loudest reactions. They're getting more time. I'm along for a ride, but I'm cool to see where this goes. The Gun Club, they're just like their dad, man. They have his timing, they're very talented. They may not have the execution down packed, but you know what? Who cares, man? They're fun to watch. So Billy Gunn siding with the Acclaimed, and Austin Gunn and Billy Gunn are kind of at odds, or so it appears. If AEW pulls the trigger and turn the Acclaimed face this summer, that is going to be an awesome move. You're going to have another tag team that's hot. They got the crowd behind them. It's going to be fun. Just see where this goes. But it's an interesting storyline that's been played out for several months now, but pretty interesting how they're doing this. Then we had a promo with, of course, Jay Lethal and Sam Singh and Sanjay Dutt. They're promoting Death Before Dishonor next month. Basically, Jay Lethal's issuing a challenge to Samoa Joe for the Ring of Honor television title. We'll see where that goes. Then we get Jade Cargill versus Layla Gray. This match, you kind of knew it was a squash match, but the way it ended and the way things turned out, you did not expect it. So Jade Cargill, basically, she just squashed Layla Gray. They show the screen that she's 34-0. She grabs the mic from Stokely Hathaway, and she's like, I'm tired of all these women in this locker room crying and bitching and moaning. Somebody needs to step up. Stokely Hathaway's like, out of all the people to step up, it was this girl who's not contracted by AEW who stood up, and none of you women did anything. So you get Athena and Chris Statlander. They come to the ring. They try to maneuver. Kiera Hogan and Jade Cargill get the upper hand. Then out of nowhere, you see Hathaway help Layla Gray up. Layla Gray gets in the ring, and she starts attacking Athena and Chris Statlander. And Jade Cargill and Layla Gray, they have this like exchange, and she's like, "Are you a baddie?" And so apparently Layla Gray is a baddie and might be with AEW. I'm all for this. She has the look, she has the work. She's been in AEW for quite a while as someone that's appeared on Dark and Dark Elevation. This should be fun. The baddies, Jade Cargill, Red Velvet, and Layla Gray and Stokely Hathaway, they're fun. They've added another dimension. I would say a new dimension to the AEW's women's division. It's fun. It's interesting to see where this is going to go. The big question everyone's asking, who's going to be the first person to defeat Jade Cargill? I don't know. I don't see anybody on the roster right now that's going to defeat Jade Cargill unless they do a interpromotional match between her and Jordan Grace, which that would be dope. Jordan Grace versus Jade Cargill. We'll see. I know everyone and myself are saying that we'll see what happens with a person named Mercedes and her status with another company, and if she goes to AEW, is she going to be the first person to give Jade Cargill her first defeat? It remains to be seen, but that would be a dope match. Then you get a backstage segment with the Young Bucks. Let me phrase that. Go back. Before that, you get a commercial promoting Grand Slam. Yes, AEW Grand Slam will be this fall. That's going to be fun. Hopefully, I know they had some issues with I think it was the staff or something. Like they just weren't prepared for a wrestling event. So hopefully it's better than last year and everything. So yes, we're getting it in September. Then we get the Young Bucks or a backstage segment with the Young Bucks. They're like, they have no friends to relate to in the back. Then on Rampage, they're like, the forbidden door is kind of cracked. So we're going to get Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto versus the Young Bucks on Rampage. That should be pretty interesting. So you have that on Rampage. Then they break down the lineup of Rampage. You're going to get Nyla Rose versus Toni Storm. Then you're going to get a Royal Rampage 20-man Battle Royal. And the winner gets a shot at the interim world title. I like it. Royal Rampage. I actually like that name. Royal Rampage, Royal Rumble, Royal Rampage. I like Royal Rampage. That might be something that they could stick to. We'll see where it goes, but I like that. I like that name. I'm interested to see who's going to win this match and face John Moxley. We'll see. Then we get Blood and Guts. Man, this cage was huge. You had the Jericho Appreciation Society. They came out with in all red. They looked like a boy band slash rock band that was doing was it a reunion tour or something like that? But it was funny. So the crowd was into it. Once those guys came out, they were hot. The first two guys were Cesaro and Sammy Guevara. Cesaro, man, that was the highlight of this whole thing, man. Cesaro was just killing it. You could tell that he was having fun. The crowd was into it. The crowd was happy seeing Cesaro on this stage, just doing his thing, where he's not just another guy in a filler match or something like that. Like, he really shined in this match. Sammy was just jumping around like a little monkey on the ropes. Then the next two guys after that, you had Daniel Garcia and Will Yuta. They just started going at it. Cesaro. Claudio. See, I have to get used to it. I said Cesaro. No, Claudio Castagnoli. Man, I gotta get used to it, man. I'm so used, like, a lot of people are so used to calling him Cesaro. So you had Yuta and Claudio. They were choking Garcia and Guevara. Then you had Jake Hager and Moxley. They were the next two guys. Moxley came in with a chair, started throwing it at people. It was just insanity after that. Then you had Angelo Parker come in. He was running like man, it was crazy. He ran around the whole two rings, and how did he avoid people, or how did they shoot it where he avoided so many people was insane. It was actually very creative. Eventually they got him and just started beating the hell out of him. Then you had Santana, and as soon as he hit one person, and I can't remember who it was that he lifted, but it looked like he was trying to perform a backbreaker, and like his left knee just buckled, and he fell to the ground, and he just stayed on the outside for pretty much the rest of the match. And once they went to commercial, picture in picture, I don't know what commercial, picture in picture, they escorted him to the back. As at the time of this recording, I have not gotten any word or seen anything regarding his status or something like that. We'll probably get it tonight or tomorrow. Hopefully he is okay. He is extremely talented, charismatic. The crowd loves him. It's so unfortunate because you could tell they were starting to get momentum and get to that tag team title scene with FTR. But man, it's just, I don't know, man. It's so unfortunate, man, that this has happened. Then you had Jericho and Eddie Kingston. They were the final two. Eddie Kingston just came in and just started whacking people with kendo sticks. They brought in thumbtacks. They brought in chairs. There was a point in the match where pretty much mostly all of the Jericho Appreciation Society, or Jazz, were busted open. There was a point where Tay Conti tried to open up the gate. Then Ruby Soho came out and prevented her, started beating her up. They went to the back. Interesting dynamic. Ruby Soho being Blackpool Combat Club. That's very interesting. About time they had a woman. Not the one that most people thought of, but storyline wise, it makes sense if they do add her into the Blackpool Combat Club, which would be pretty dope. Then you get towards the end of the match, you have Eddie Kingston and Jericho on the top of the cage. They're just beating the hell out of each other. Then you have Cesaro chasing, I believe was it Angelo Parker? Or Matt? No. Matt Lennart. There you go. Daddy Magic. Yeah, Danny Magic. He was up there, and you had Eddie Kingston putting Jericho in a submission hold, and then you had Cesaro putting Matt Lennart in a sharpshooter, and Cesaro made his guy tap before Eddie Kingston made Jericho tap, and Eddie Kingston was mad that Cesaro made his guy tap before him, and that was the blood and guts, man. I enjoyed the blood and guts in spite of the Santana injury, which really just like, oh man, like really, um, not just as an AEW fan, but just as a wrestling fan. There's so many guys and women that are getting injured that you're just like, not another one. Like, oh, come on, like, man, it's so disheartening because these men and women like just want to perform in front of the crowd, and they feel the energy and the excitement and just what we're giving to them, and they're giving it back to us, and you just get an injury that just cuts everything short. But there's an interesting episode of Dynamite. There's a lot to come out of it. Ruby Soho and Tay Conti, the Claudio, Eddie Kingston dynamic. What's going to happen? The Jade Cargill, Layla Gray, Ishii with the newest baddie to the baddie section. The Young Bucks, they were hinting towards someone in the back that could be their friend. What's going to happen with Luchasaurus, the Billy Gunn, Austin Gunn dynamic. What's going to happen with that? That's going to be interesting. So I'm really looking forward to it. Let's see what happens on Rampage. Let's see what happens next week on Dynamite. And actually, next week's Dynamite is going to be the 1st of July. Yes, next month is July, or next week will be July. So it's going to be fun. So I'm looking forward to it. But yes, this is my review for AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts. Like, share, comment, subscribe, follow House of Wrestling on all social media platforms. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Like I always say, stop fighting over wrestling, because the way this is going with all these injuries and stuff like that, it's like our favorites are getting injured or time off. It's like, oh man, like let's just enjoy for what it is and just have fun with it. So with that, I'm out.